Broncos Country, here we are. Bye-bye, bye week. Hello, baby horses. It is so good to be back. It is so good knowing that this Sunday we're going to have some Broncos football. It's the final stretch of the season, guys, and we are on an absolute tear right now, down the stretch at full sprint, right for the finish line, which of course for us is the playoffs. We're this close. We are this close. And before I make any more horse racing jokes, this is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network. Let's friggin' go.
Smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays about to debut. Divine pride in every view, nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins, analyzing the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
Oh, my bad, Jay. Hang on. Boom. And boom.
Yeah,
there
baby,
he is.
yeah.
Jay. What's up, Broncos Country? How you doing, Orange and Blue crew? And welcome to the post-bye week edition of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network. I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking, and with me, as always, my cousin, my childhood best friend, and my co-host, Jay the Denver Dream, or Dreamweaver, whatever you want to call him. Jay Weaver, what's up, buddy? How you doing, cuz?
Oh, hey. Doing well rested after the bye week. No football. Got to take in some championship college football. But man, it's good to get back at it for the final run of the NFL season here. So super excited.
Dude, like I said in the intro, man. It's like, at the risk of making a horse joke, going with horse races here. We've turned the corner. All right, we're in the final stretch, and the Broncos are sprinting down the final stretch right for the finish line right now. And right now, that finish line is well in sight.
No, it is. I mean, isn't it nice? Once again, like I know that last year we were still in it on the Christmas Eve game. Was it Christmas Eve or Christmas? You were at there.
It was Christmas.
You were at
it was Christmas Eve. I was there at that game.
That's when dropped.
we were in it. But I mean, I think at that time our chances of making the playoffs were like 5%.
Yeah.
Like what, we were facing elimination. We knew it, and it didn't work out for us at all.
But like, we're in it this year. We're in the driver's seat, and we have on the horizon meaningful football in the month of December. Yeah. And that's a welcome thing.
Meaningful football in the month of December, and very likely January.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time, Jay, I'm a January baby. I'm a Capricorn, okay? When's the last time that I could say that my team was still in it on my birthday? I was in my mid-20s.
9 years ago.
I was in my mid-20s then, okay? Like, I was actually hanging out with this guy, Michael Yost, right here, back in 2015 in my garage watching Broncos games in Clarksville, Tennessee. It's been a long-ass time. And finally, we're back, baby. We're back. And I mean, I have digested so much national media on the Broncos this week. I mean, my YouTube algorithm has to look insane just from national media shows, from everybody from Dan Orlovsky to Mark Schlereth to Chase Daniel and just on and on and on. The media guys, talking about the Broncos this week. I have digested all of it in the past week and a half, and all of them are suddenly like, one of my favorites was oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the show off the top of my head. It's the one that Michael Irvin is on.
Fox Sports.
Yeah, it's on Fox Sports, but I can't remember the name of the show. Anyway, but they were asking should we be worried about should other teams be worried about the Broncos in the postseason? And Michael Irvin, which by the way has never in his entire broadcasting career been a very big proponent for the Denver Broncos. Never.
No.
All that said, my mad respect to Michael Irvin. He was a hell of a player. He's a great actor too, by the way. But he's never been a big proponent of the Broncos, but he was sitting there gushing, and he's like, yeah, teams should be worried about the Denver Broncos in the postseason.
I mean, we got the makeup. This is the makeup of the team, is to be successful in cold weather, end of the year type of close football games. So, I mean, we are set up. I know that everybody always falls on, but you have a rookie quarterback. And that's opposite of what the end of the year games that matter pressure. But
yeah, our rookie quarterback is among the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah, it's not a normal rookie quarterback.
Not even just out of rookies, out of quarterbacks. Like all quarterbacks, all NFL quarterbacks. He's considered top tier right now in terms of his production, his stats, everything. We have a rookie quarterback. You know what? Quit beating that drum, because he's proving you wrong every week.
Quit beating that buck and Bronco. We're not a dead horse. Right. Let's go.
Well played. We've already got some of our good friends in the house. We got Dave Full Glass Glassman popping in saying playoffs. Yes, I believe so, dude. I mean, Zach Stevens on DNVR yesterday was literally like, I will die on the hill that the Broncos are going to the playoffs this year.
Dude, I watching last week in the bye week and watching the teams, I thought at the most the Cincinnati game versus Dallas, this last Monday night game last night, of that just going back on Andrew Mason's tweet of, guys, I know we're not used to this, but stop thinking and looking backwards at these teams that are going to catch us. We're the driver in this situation. We need to be looking at the teams ahead of us that we will catapult above. We need to retrain our brains after the last 9 years. It's so easy to go back into our old feelings of but when are we going to get back to reality? This is reality. That we can be up to the 6th seed, at least the 6th seed.
I mean, I can understand. I can understand it. I mean, the whole hindsight, and also, of course, a little bit of, what you might call fandom PTSD. I get that. But the but if my mom had a 3-piece set, she'd be my daddy.
Gross.
I'm just saying, so, getting past it. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jay. The reality of what we're seeing right now is vastly different than what the reality of the last 9 years for us. It's hard to take in, but if you can do it objectively, if you can look, if you can sit down, I don't know if everybody's a stat buff like me. I love reading stats. One moment, please.
Oh, that's the world famous copper, I believe.
No, actually, that's my wife's little rat. That's my wife's little dog, who's going to be made into a stew soon if he doesn't shut up. But
small.
No. Yeah. But no, the reality of where we are right now, it's very optimistic. And I get, and we're going to get to everybody's comments, but I'm going to pull up this one real quick about by Michael Yost saying, we need to first get through this week. I'm looking more at the 50-meter target versus the 200-meter target. I think we have a good chance to have a deep push into the playoffs, but I need to see this week go well for us.
Yeah. No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all, because multiple media outlets, including Mr. Benjamin Albright, has dubbed this the most important game since Super Bowl 50. This is literally a make or break game because if we lose to the Colts, almost every single team that would be in contention to steal our spot has the tiebreaker against us.
Tiebreaker.
So it is slippery slope if we lose this game. Yes. This is massive.
And that is the one area that I do disagree with what Zach Stevens said on DNVR yesterday when Todd Davis and Hank were both saying, like, dude, this is a must win, and Zach's like, it's not a must win. It's not a must win. It is, actually.
It is.
As a matter of fact. It is a must win because granted, even if we lose, I'm not, knocking on wood. Even if we lost this, okay, we're not out. This doesn't mathematically eliminate us. We can still clinch the playoffs. It just makes the road to get there that much more slippery.
Well, and I can't say this for a fact, but it's making sense in my head as I say it, that if we lose this game, then the Chargers would just need to beat us to clinch a playoff berth. Guaranteed.
Yes.
So that becomes a much more massive game on Thursday night for the Chargers specifically.
Even though it's already a massive game for us, because I cannot get on board with the idea of being swept by the Chargers.
Correct.
I cannot. So we got we got David Yonkin in the house saying, "Evening, everyone. What's up, Dave? Biggie Bronco. How's everybody doing tonight?" We got D-Rock popping in, our dear friend with his picture of blue on his lap there, saying no moss for the next couple of weeks is very much like Halloween for me.
We'll get into that. I've got a lot of things to say about that specific situation.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. Jonathan Blair popping in. Hope we had a great bye week. Big things are happening.
It's true. Big things.
It is. Lots of big things. And David brings up a great point here, Jay. It's actually very akin to what you said a few moments ago. I listen to a lot of podcasts about the Broncos, and everyone has a different perspective. I'm just hoping that the team can take care of business. There's so much to be excited about. There's so much to digest. But speaking of and before we do all that, speaking of taking things in and digesting, and getting excited, why don't everybody join me in getting excited about the sponsor of today's show, Dubby Jealous Energy Blend, as held in the hands of Jay right there. It is amazing stuff. The link is in the bio below. Jump on over to dubby.gg. Get yourself the dub. Dubby comes in a multitude of delicious flavors, all right? Every single cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine, more than enough to give you the kick in the seat that you need to get your day going. But Dubby is specially formulated so that you don't get the crash later, because Dubby doesn't have any sugar. It also has no calories or maltodextrin or fillers or artificial colors. It's as natural as it can be. It's nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, including their patented Neurofactor nootropic that keep you sharp throughout your day. And the caffeine in Dubby is derived directly from the coffee plant. It is very natural. It is very delicious. It will get you going, and it will keep you going throughout your day without the jitters or the crash later. So jump on over, show Dubby some love. All right. Get yourself the dub by punching in code NRWOB10. NRWOB10 will get you 10% off your order at checkout. Guys, that's how you get yourself the dub, just like the Broncos going to get their dub this weekend. So, all right, it's time to, as we said it, let's talk, let's digest. The Broncos right now are on a 3-game win streak. And even when things for the offense seemed a little shaky at times on Monday night, last Monday night against the Browns, our defense got the job done, as they always have, at least in the last few years, right? So, I mean, Jay, I feel confident, and I understand. I believe it was David Yonkin that brought it up a few moments ago. I brought up his comment about everyone having a different perspective. Me personally, my perspective, I am very confident going into this game. But how do you feel about it?
So we've had these mile markers this year where we could have gone and pivoted the way that we have seen the Broncos go the last 9 years. I mainly bring up the games like the Falcons game. I bring up the games even really in Kansas City. That was kind of a pivot point kind of game of like, what team's going to show up? Are we the team that's going to lay down, or are we going to be a team that competes and doesn't shy in the moment? And thus far, the record in those games has been very well, like exemplary. We've done very well in those situations. We have proven that we are a different culture. We are a different team. And you know, we step up to the plate when needed most. And so
Yes.
This is an inferior team. The Colts are not as talented as us. We should beat them. This is another prime example of that. We need to show up and just take care of our business. And I believe we still have the team to do that. So I want to be proved right.
I absolutely, I couldn't have said it better myself. You know, like the thing is, you know, I've been up to Indianapolis this year. I went up there for a conference, and unfortunately, I didn't get to attend any football game or anything while I was there. But Anthony Richardson is everywhere up there, everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his face is literally, there is the hotel I stayed in downtown. It was sorry, Jay. It was a Marriott Bonvoy hotel, which, by the way,
blasphemy.
After that well, I'm telling you right now, that experience, I'll never, ever, ever stay with that chain again. So there you go.
Free plug for my company, IHG all the way.
IHG forever, buddy. But and honestly, the only reason that I stayed there was because that's where the conference was.
Sure.
But next time there's a conference, if it's in a Marriott Bonvoy location, I promise you, I'm staying at a Motel 6 down the road and coming in every day.
Just a random plug for Indianapolis, St. Elmo Steakhouse, top notch.
Yeah, it was right there. That was right there next to my hotel.
It's the bee's knees.
I did not get to actually partake, but I saw it. But anyway. But Anthony Richardson is everywhere up there. Like, they're already worshiping the guy. And I'm sitting here going, why?
What has he done?
He has accomplished nothing. And, you know, when you watch him, I've digested. I keep using that word tonight. I need to find a new word. I have taken in a lot of Colts footage from this season. Because, you know, I had an extra week. I had a lot more time to do stuff this week. And so I watched a lot of Colts stuff, and the one thing I could see is, one, he does not have a high football IQ.
No,
like, the dude does not read defenses well. Which by the way, you know, we saw what Jameis Winston did against us. He was chewing up our zone defense. He was slaughtering us. Anthony Richardson, that will not be the case. You know, and he's got legs. He's got legs. So, I mean, if you let him break contain and he gets out, he can move, but he's also still not the best at that. He's not Bo Nix at escaping. I'll tell you that much. And the only other real thing I've noticed about him is he's got a very nice long ball when he does, you know, manage it.
Not accurate, but I mean, he's got a good moon ball.
But he's got a good moon ball. He's got a good arm. You know, maybe, yeah, he's not Robin Hood he's not Robin Hood as far as accuracy goes, but the dude can throw it down the field. But again, we know, I mean, I get Riley. We already talked about it. We'll get more into that. Riley Moss is out, which sucks, but
yeah,
we've got the best shutdown corner in the NFL, and in Pat Surtain. And, you know, I personally think, you know, in the absence of Riley Moss this week, I think we see more of Chris Abrams' drain, at least during. I really do. I think we see more of him when the field is stretched. I could see them, you know, putting Levi Wallace in more for his experience in the red zone, when you don't need to have to be trying to keep up with dudes in full sprint. You know what I mean?
Sure. I can see that.
So that, you know, I don't know. I really do think that we can get this done. And I'm really excited about it.
Okay. I can see that.
So, I mean, yes, it has the potential to be a trap game. But then again, We have said that about every single game that we should and are supposed to win all season long. And honestly, the Broncos have gotten it done against those teams.
Yeah. Want to bring up a couple other commenters in the chat. Please here.
My friend.
We got Rodney Garcia in the chat. Good evening, guys.
Good
Broncos
evening.
Country. Appreciate you, Rodney, coming in. We got Bonkers Broncos in here saying Dolphins going to freeze out. And again, they're a quintessential team that is not built for this time of year. They prove it year on, year out. Every single year they come, they're not a team built
they have to travel. No.
Yeah.
For the cold.
Let's
be honest. Look at the where they practice. Look at what the San Francisco 49ers did against Buffalo. Okay? They even like honestly, if it had been early in the season, if it had been, September or even early October, and the San Francisco 49ers had taken on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, it'd have been fine. That game would not have been in nearly the blowout that it was. However, they practice in California where it's nice and warm. Now, granted, it gets a little nippy up in Northern California, but it's not Buffalo in November cold.
Sure.
Or Buffalo in December cold. But you'll get these teams traveling to Cincinnati and Buffalo and Green Bay and even Denver, where it's cold. And they're not prepped for it. You can't be, because you have to. It takes days, medically speaking. I always do this. I always find some get a way to throw in some of my medical background, my medical knowledge. It takes the human body at least 4 to 5 days to acclimate to a climate. Okay, these teams usually get into the city 1 to 2 days before the game. Their bodies, do not ever have the time, especially when they're practicing in these warm environments, like the warmest environment in the NFL, Miami. They don't have any time to prepare their bodies for the onslaught in the cold and in the snow. It's just not. You're absolutely right, Jay. This time of year, there are definitely teams that struggle because of it.
And they say the same thing about elevation. And trying to get in early to kind of adapt to that same environment. And speaking of elevation, we also got our boy, a 6'10" Mexican in the house, Adon Diaz. What up, dude? Mile high salute. Appreciate you being here as always. And then we got Ernie Mays. I believe Mays is how you say it. Maez, maybe
it's Mays, or at least I've always said Mays.
Okay.
Ernie, I've seen Ernie around for a long time, but I think this might be the first time I've seen Ernie on our show.
Well, appreciate you, Ernie.
So it's good to see Ernie here. Welcome.
Very much so.
The
weather's going to be a factor in this season. In the seasonality that we are. I know that we'll talk about matchups and what to look for as far as seeding and where we want to play. I will say the biggest takeaway that I took from this last weekend of the bye was thank God for the LA Rams taking care of business, beating the Buffalo Bills. And the only reason I say that is because that solidifies Kansas City pretty much as going to be the number 1 seed. And that only helps us for that last game of the season where they're going to rest their starters. That's going to be hey, let's get ready. Let's get a 2-week bye, essentially, for Kansas City. They don't have a perfect season to worry about. They don't care about any sort of record in that regard. So they're going to be sitting quite a bit of people in Denver. And that only goes to our benefit because, the Cincinnati game and the Charger game, those are going to be really hard victories. I will be happy if we split that because even though Cincinnati at that time might not have playoff hopes, that is their last home game, and they are a proud offense at least, and their offense can still fire it. Joe Burrow's a fringe MVP candidate. As terrible as their team is, they got a lot of pride on that offense, at least on the offense.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't want to play that with that.
No, but we do have to go up against them.
We do.
And so here's to your point about what we learned from the bye week with the losses of certain teams in this bye week. Okay, our chances are 77% at the playoffs right now. We're still the seventh seed, but with those losses, the Chargers to the Chiefs, the Bills going down. Our chances of actually now making the fifth seed right now are actually pretty good. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, and so don't misquote me.
Baltimore's got a pretty easy run. Memory serves me right. I think they're probably going to be fifth seed. I think it's more realistic we beat the Chargers. That Chargers game is going to be for sixth seed, I think. And whoever loses will probably be seventh seed. Is kind of how I see it shake up.
But I mean, I kind of feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that, like I said, I've had a lot of time the last week and a half to sit and go over all of this. And the more and more I look at it, it looks like the 7 teams, including the Broncos, currently holding playoff position, will be the 7 teams. I don't think,
I agree.
And that's after, of course, looking at the teams that are already holding on to those spots, to include us, but it's also looking at the schedules of each of those teams going forward. And in doing so, I do not think anybody's going to take that 7th seed from us, unless, of course, we implode, which I like I said, I have full faith right now that we're not going to do that. It's like you said, Jay, this is a new culture.
It is.
It's a visible culture. We can feel it. We can see it. Hell, I can even taste it. It's a new culture in the locker room, in the fan base. It's a new culture all around. And I don't think this is that kind, that this team is just going to suddenly plummet off of a cliff, so to speak. We saw some struggles from the Broncos offense early in the Browns game. We did. And we saw some struggles from the defense, but they still played a complimentary football game, all around complimentary football game. And that wins games better than any, if you look at some of the best teams in history, they weren't always top 10, like in terms of like offense, or top 10 in defense. They had like average, they were like middle of the pack, like 15th and both offense and defense. They were doing so good because it was so complimentary.
Yeah, it's balance.
Exactly. The balance there is strong. And right now, that's what this team has, is balance, which is something we have not been able to say, even in 2015, when the Broncos made their Super Bowl run and for the win, the offense and defense weren't balanced. And we actually got lucky quite a few times. Our defense bailed us out.
Well, and it's the Will Ferrell quote. It's about going streaking. It's about who's hot at the end of the year. And I can't say that there's a hotter team than us, really, in the grand scheme of life, because we got our asses kicked, versus Baltimore. But other than that game, we have been hot as hell, dominating, playing extremely good ball.
And our losses, except the first 2 weeks, which, of course, was – the first 2 weeks, I wish you could just say, let's write them off. Let's count them out. We don't even count them, but you can't. Unfortunately, it is part of your record. But those were Bo Nix's sea leg, sea leg games.
We didn't even have a playbook involved. I mean, we were so handcuffed at that time of the year.
We were. But after that second game, man, when we got to Tampa, we started seeing the emergence, so to speak, of what this team is now. That happened in week 3 of 2024. And it's just continued to roll on. And in each of our losses, we have 5 losses. I can't believe that. Just 5. 5 losses. In each of our 5 losses, except for those first 2, it's been by a score or less.
And I want to bring something up real quick. Bonkers Broncos comes up and says 7th seed over the years has gotten wiped out really quickly. But this is unlike any previous years, really, from a playoff perspective, because that 7th seed is going to have 9 or 10 wins. Whereas, like, in years past, 500 ball has gotten you into the playoffs. Like, really crappy teams have gotten squeaked in and gotten blown out. But, like, that's not what this year entails. We have such a small degree of difference between the 7th seed and, honestly, I'd probably even say the 3rd seed. I think Buffalo and Kansas City are in a class of their own, but
They are.
No one can tell you that Pittsburgh is any juggernaut compared to Baltimore, compared to LA, compared to us. Like I don't think there's a massive difference in between those teams, and that's why
there really isn't.
I almost wish we play Pittsburgh. I almost wish we get another shot at Baltimore because I think those are beatable teams.
I think that it. I think we've played them once. We had our struggles, but it seems to me that Bo Nix is one thing I can say about Bo that I really, really like is he's a sponge. The dude seems to absorb knowledge. He seems to, retain everything he sees and thinks about. So going back out there against either one of those teams, they're not going to have the same kind of game they had against us the first time.
Yeah,
they're not. And this team has progressed almost exponentially in the time since those games. So, I completely agree with you. I said it weeks ago, Jay, and I still believe this. I get a lot of people are going to be out on this opinion of mine. I don't think. Pardon. Sorry. I don't think there is a team in this league that we can't beat. I think that there's going to be hard games. We have a hard game against everyone and anyone, but I do believe that we actually have the potential to beat anyone, to include these juggernauts like the Chiefs. I mean, come on, we came that close. Yeah. I mean, that it shouldn't have even happened. 9 times out of 10, that field goal doesn't get blocked.
Well, and they're dinged for a division. Their black magic has to stop sometime. It is. I can't keep seeing this. It is gut-wrenching.
I think the black magic will only come to an end when Brittany Mahomes, the demon that Brittany Mahomes made a deal with, comes up and collects the contract and drags her soul back down to hell. That's the only way I see right now the black magic, because they just seem so damn lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be, at this point, I'm like, they have to be sacrificing a goat to the pagan gods or something before each game. Like, what are they, how is this happening?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's bad. It's bad. I don't know. I just kind of feel like there are a lot of teams that are extremely beatable in the positions that we would be playing. Like Houston does not look good. And I know they're going to win a division. They're going to get a home playoff game, but that's not a shoo-in for them to win their first game.
No,
whoever gets matched up with them.
In fact, outside of his rookie success, CJ Stroud has looked very human this season.
Mm-hmm.
He set himself apart in his rookie season. He set rookie records that, I don't know how it'll be years before some of those rookie records get broken. But, but now in his second season, we're seeing a human version, Hercules has been knocked back down to earth. You're not a god, you're a demigod. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I do not foresee the Texans being that big of a threat. In fact, I think if we took on the Texans right now, we would not maybe necessarily destroy them, but we'd win.
Yeah. And I stand corrected. Big E throws up the remaining schedule for Baltimore. I thought they had a far easier path than this. They got the Giants, which that's a dub for them. But Steelers, Texans, and Browns, as we can attest, is a sneaky team that could knock anyone off, I think, at any point. They're a nuisance.
They are.
And I think Baltimore-Houston would be a pretty close game. And no one is going to convince me that Russell Wilson is set up for long-term success. I believe it when I see it. I would love to see that first-round matchup.
I mean, he's having success right now. And you can't deny that.
He is. But, there's got to be a breaking point for him. We all have seen it. We've seen success out of him. We saw the, 5-game win streak last year?
5-game win streak right here in Denver, yeah.
We saw it. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to last. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to Russell Wilson it up. He's too dangerous to keep within a system. He's got to be a superstar.
Oh, God. No, I don't even want to. I don't even want to.
Back and singing for a vomit.
But
Be careful, it's spicy.
yeah. Anyway,
Yep,
but
me too.
getting back into our comments here for a second, giving the love to our friends in the chat. Michael Yost coming in. Pierce and Pittman are the deep threats. We cannot have our secondary let them get space. Well, I can say this, and that's why I said I think we'll see more of Chris Abrams drain in the game than we will of Levi Wallace.
Let's talk about this. This is a perfect junction to get into this. So I know there's been conflicting reports out there about how long Riley Moss is going to be out. He is labeled right now as questionable. It is widely accepted he is not going to be available for the Colts game, but I think is fringe as to will he be back on a short week against the Chargers. I saw, Benjamin Albright sent out that he wasn't going to be ready until the Cincinnati game at a bare minimum. I think
of course, you got to respect what Ben says. He is the insider in the building.
Yeah,
but
I think we can all agree we don't want to see Wallace in the same position again.
No. When you have speedy wideouts that can take the top off of a defense, Levi Wallace is the last guy we want in the game. It is that simple.
100%.
He's the guy's a vet and he's got a lot of experience. And I'll say this, okay? We didn't get to see a whole lot of it. We saw some of it, but his red zone game is fantastic. His experience and his knowledge in the red zone is great. It's when you haven't, like I said earlier in the show, it's like, when you have that extended field, that length,
because he's old
and everything. He's old, and he can't keep up with these young bucks.
Yep.
That's why I said I think we'll see a lot more CAD in the game this week. Chris Abrams drain, MIZZOU baby. We saw him shut down Jerry Jeudy over multiple plays that once he finally got on the field. And that's a speedy dude. That means that's a speedy dude. That's why I really believe we'll see more of him.
And, I appreciate that take, Johnny. I really do. And I think from all of the perspectives from media sources that I have seen in the past week, or I guess really since in the last, say, 3 days since the Riley Moss news has kind of become more clear, that's probably been the predominant opinion. But I will say there is something to be said. My boy Damari Mathis is still out there. He's still ready to go. Okay, he wants to eat. Okay, he's ready to feed. So everyone needs to just take note that Chris Abrams Drain is a rookie, and we might see some hiccups out of him as we do most rookies. So at the end of the day, I want that to be clear that we do have a veteran Damari Mathis that does have better wheels than Levi Wallace that is out there that wants to have some opportunity. I'm sure.
Who has had a lot of opportunity
recently?
No, but history is there for a reason.
Yeah,
okay? I'm just saying, what?
I don't know. You got to
let him in the game in history. You got to
totally redeem yourself.
Let the guy
bed or totally shit the bed as he has time.
Yeah, but we've already seen Levi Wallace shit the bed. Give another guy a chance.
You know who hasn't yet?
Chris Abrams Drain. Yeah.
Anyway,
I understand. I understand.
Yeah. Now we got let's see, David Youngkin coming in. I don't see Bo getting Rookie of the Year, but I just want him to finish strong. He's still in the talks, man. It's still very possible.
Jalen Daniels played out of his mind last week, and if he keeps stacking that, where I want to see he had 5 touchdowns total, there ain't much Bo's going to be able to do to surpass that.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that, but there's still 4 weeks of play left.
There are,
and I mean, we say, on this show,
I thought you said go, Bo, go.
It is.
So that's where I am.
Have East Coast bias, Johnny. This of all sports. National media for national awards don't take too kindly to us country folk in the middle of the country. Denver, considering the farm town it is, flyover country.
Country folk. I don't know how you consider Denver flyover country. Colorado is not a flyover state.
See, but you say that, but to the perspective of coast people from California or on the East Coast, it absolutely is. And we see that every single year in Pro Bowl voting. We see that every year in any sort of popular vote that is out there. Side note, that's the only reason Travis Hunter is going to win Heisman is because he's put up against a Boise State player. Who cares about Boise State, Idaho? If he was up against an Alabama player or some sort of major conference player, Travis would not be winning this. It just so happens he's up against a small market person. That's the only reason that's going to be a landslide.
That's actually an excellent point, and one I hadn't even really thought of. I hadn't even thought of that. But even so, I do agree with you, David. I definitely want, Bo to just finish strong. That's all I care about. Look, what was our benchmark for success this season? Not even just success. Because success is a winning season.
Sure.
What was our goal? Our ultimate goal for this season?
Find out if we have a quarterback.
Okay. Did we do that?
Oh yeah. Check.
Okay. What was maybe our next goal?
See if Sean Payton's the guy. See if he's rebuilding the team.
Did we do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So then our next goal, I would say, would be end the Raiders win streak. Oh God.
Oh my God, Richie.
What does he say?
Fantastic, Richie. Johnny exercising his Second Amendment rights to bear arms. Fantastic.
Damn right, buddy. Don't tread on me.
Comment of the night.
I love it. Hey, no, yeah, you can't compete with these firearms anyway. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so our next goal, I would say, would have been to end the Raiders win streak.
Yes, you're right. Yep, we did
that.
Check.
Okay. What was our next goal? To me, is make the playoffs, end the playoff drought.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay, so I think we're gonna do that. I honestly do. Like I am so confident. I am so confident that we are gonna do that. We've checked every box for all of our goals for this season. We've had a winning year. We've got a new culture. Our coach has proven that he is not, that he wasn't only going to be successful as the Saints head coach. Our rookie quarterback has proven he is the future of this franchise going forward. So all we have left really is to make the playoffs. And I don't, even if we don't make a push in the playoffs, just getting there, just one game in the playoffs, just being there, that is a massive success for this team.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. Got David in the chat saying leave Boise State alone. That is the one Bronco team I will curse at this year. Sorry to say, but they
only
can kick
because
rocks.
You want Travis. Only because you don't want anybody taking Travis's Heisman.
Yeah, don't steal my boy's thunder.
But no, that's but no, I understand that. Let me see. I had another one here. Let me see. We've got. Okay. It says David says it's funny you say rookie records being broken. What about Bo breaking records? And yes, he has. He's broken several records. However, with some of the ones I'm talking about that were set by CJ Stroud last season, Bo hasn't come close.
Pretty high up there.
pretty high up.
He had a pretty historical rookie season.
It was.
I will say,
pretty insane.
Bo Nix is already the most successful rookie quarterback the Broncos have ever had.
Yeah,
rookie.
Absolutely. I mean,
our
rookies
have been god awful.
Well, I mean, yeah. Let's see. We had Cutler. Cutler was our draft.
He was, but he didn't play that much because Plummer still played for most of his rookie season.
And look at Elway. Okay, Elway's rookie year, they won 4 games in Elway's rookie year.
I guess. Hey, Bo needs to win a playoff game, or Tim Tebow still has that crown.
Hey, I love. You know what? Say what you want. I love Tim Tebow.
All he does is win. All he does is win.
That's right.
I missed that rap. It was great stuff. Richie said. Oh, sorry. Richie does say Nix has blown past Elway and Locke in wins. I mean, and
yes,
he's right because Elway was trash his rookie year.
His rookie year was terrible. He got benched by game 4. I want to say.
Yeah, he got pulled.
In his rookie debut, he threw 4 interceptions in that game.
Yep.
To 0 touchdowns. So, that, and I'm not sitting here saying that Bo Nix is the next John Elway. But what I am saying is, as far as his rookie campaign goes, this is probably the most successful rookie campaign we've seen out of a Denver Broncos rookie quarterback ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I love seeing every bit of it. Biggie does make a point. Yeah, but John Elway was handicapped with Dan Reeves. Maybe, but Elway didn't have. But even with Dan Reeves as your coach, Elway did not have the best decision making early on in his career.
Yeah, he was a gunslinger that kind of thought his shit don't stink.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he went on to where his shit didn't stink, but for a while there, his shit stank.
Yeah. His offensive line was garbage his rookie year too.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
In a big way. Let me see. We got Big E coming in again. Mike Shanahan can't get into the Hall of Fame with the better record than 2 Super Bowl wins. You really think Bo's going to win Rookie of the Year? I mean, I wasn't saying I think he is. I'm saying he's still in the talk.
Coast biased.
I mean, I'm not sitting here saying Bo's going to get it.
Well, it's not like there's coast bias with Mike Holmgren getting in.
I want him to get it. But what I'm saying is he is still in the talk. And, he could ball out enough. He could. I'm not saying he's gonna. He could ball out enough to make a strong case for it.
I guess let me say this. I would most certainly trade the Rookie of the Year stat for a playoff win. Because I don't think Jalen Daniels is going to be winning a playoff game. No way. So
probably not. I mean, look at who's going to have to face off against. Jared Goff or
Vikings.
Yeah, or I mean, Sam. Give it to the Vikings, man. Yeah, Philly. I mean, in Philly, I thought they were dead. I thought they were dead at the beginning of this season, and they've really turned their season around.
They got a lot of drama. AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts and all that crap. I do want to talk to you a little bit about our running backs, our running back room, because one thing that needs to happen in this game. I mean, granted, the Colts have a god awful defense. They do not have a good defense. They do.
I mean, I don't have my phone died, so I'm not going to sit here and pull up the stats. I wish I could just pull up PFF right now and tell you what they're ranked defensively right now. But I can tell you they don't have a good one. And we got to see Jaleel McLaughlin take off last week. He's a little speed demon, man. Kind of akin to Phillip Lindsay for me. I really like what I've been seeing from him. Javonte Williams, on the other hand, I'm so done with the Javonte Williams experiment. And I don't think he's a Bronco next year, but what do you think, Jay?
No, I knew he wasn't a Bronco to begin this year. And that's why, if you remember, before this season started, I said, get Javonte out of here. If you can get a draft pick for him, send him on his way. I thought he would go to Dallas. I thought he would go somewhere. But we need to get rid of Javonte. He was on the last year of a rookie deal, and we didn't need him for what this season needed to be as far as success of what this season represented. I thought Audric Estime was a repetitiveness to what his role was, and Audric Estime was a ready-to-go product than what Javonte exactly provided. I would have rather had Blake Watson see carries on this team, which he's long gone. But, dude, Javonte, I hope doesn't see another carry this year. I hope we exclusively get it to Audric Estime, get him ready to go for next year.
Javonte, 24 out of his last 29 games.
Terrible.
24 out of his last 29 games. Averaging less than 3 yards a carry.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
We will absolutely have a new, I truly believe, a new starting running back next year. Richie says in 2025, I see us with 2 new faces in the running back room. I don't know about 2. I think we'll definitely have 1 because I think obviously Estime is going to be back. And I think McLaughlin will be back as well.
I do too. I think McLaughlin's made a strong case to stay.
I think so. Big E also agrees. The nemesis that
this
they
is
are
a
together.
Ridiculously deep draft class at running back.
That it is. But I still want to spend a premium pick on it because at the end of the day, we lack playmakers. We lack home run hitters. And we need a home run hitter kind of back. And that is not Audric Estime. He is not a home run hitter.
No.
So we need some more talent in that room.
I think that Estime is the kind of he's the kind of player that I think he has high potential. I think he has a high upside for us. He needs I think the guy, honestly, in watching some film the last couple days, going back earlier in the season on some Estime carries, he lacks a lot of confidence.
Yeah. It's because of the early fumble battles he had, man. Yeah. That's a hard thing to start your career out with some fumble issues when you're a possessional running back. David says, what do you think about Scatabo? And I'm not a huge fan of him. I think he's kind of a, dustpan. He's the flavor of the day right now. He didn't have long-term college football success. He's had really, short-term success right now. My guy is more of Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State, or I like Johnson out of Iowa. Those are my 2 guys from a running back standpoint. But we'll get into, draft class, players of position moving forward. But it'll be a position we address.
Okay. So I don't know if you know this, Jay. I'm actually about to complete my enrollment to Arizona State University online, but still. I think it's finally time I finish getting a degree. I can't let you outpace me forever.
Remember, C's get degrees.
Right. And I'm actually going to be getting it's going to be a bachelor's. I'm going to be getting my bachelor's in your field in business. But honestly, it's truly just so that I can promote at my current company. They, your promotion options are very limited. You ain't got that piece of paper. So, but I will be enrolling at the end of this year for the next semester for Arizona State University. So, as a future Arizona State Sun Devil, Scatabo he's looked really, really good, and I like him. I do. But I agree with you on this, Jay. I agree that flavor of the month, however you want to say it, he has had some quick successes that or not quick, but he's had.
They're playing really well right now. They're hot.
They are.
They're super hot.
But I don't think his skill set is going to lend to being an NFL star, so to speak. He'll be in the NFL. And he will play, but I don't foresee him being like the next, a future starter even.
To Big E's point, though, it is a deep class of running backs. So there is not a wrong answer.
This
It is
class
a-
was way deep.
Who knows?
I mean, what's his name? I like what's his name. From the Jayhawks.
Neil.
Neil.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
He tore the hell up on Colorado. So
I mean, not just Colorado. I mean, every game I've watched,
lot of players.
Every single game that I've seen him play in, he's an absolute. What's his first name again? It's
something with an L. I forgot.
Yeah, something. But anyway, I really, really like Neil from the Jayhawks. If we could somehow get him, I'd be very happy with that pick. He's probably, honestly, Neil is probably my favorite running back in this class. So,
Richie says there's a legit starter in the 4th or later. I mean, totally right. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Well, I mean, and one thing we know, what's one thing we know about the running back position in the draft, Jay, and that's that you don't have to draft high to get a good running back.
It's a turnstile. You're there for 4 years max.
I mean, unless your name is Derrick Henry, or unless your name is Marshawn Lynch.
And honestly, look at Javonte as a great example. We traded up in the 2nd round for him to really only last 2 years on our team. He's been a non-factor this year, and he was hurt for another year.
Yeah, he was. You can literally only say you got a season out of him, and it was a great season. I mean, I still can't get over him backpacking what's his name from the Ravens down the field for 25 yards. You know, he had a great rookie campaign, then he got hurt, and after that injury, he's just never been the same. Yeah. And so we traded up in the 2nd round for a guy who gave us 1 season. So no, I would not spend a premium pick on a running back, even though there are some really good running backs that will go in the first few days, in the first day, you know, or maybe the 2nd day and day 2, most likely. But 4th round, I could get on board with grabbing one in the 4th, maybe the 5th. And I'd be fine. But as far as our running backs right now, Jaleel has shown some great potential. I think if Estime can just get out of his own head a little bit.
Sure.
You know, I mean, granted, we've seen that he's begun, when he has gotten touches, to protect the ball better. We've seen that. Now it's just a matter of, dude, get out of your own head and just do what you're good at.
Yep.
Stop being scared to fumble and just combine the two. Combine your natural skill set with your newfound ball security. You know, and we'll be good to go. You know, and we saw him vault. What's his name? A few weeks back. That was a really amazing play out of a rookie. So I mean, I think Estime has high upside. He's just got to get out of his own head.
Mm-hmm.
So, Biggie saying everybody's got to remember Javonte Williams' injury is a 3-year process.
Gross. I don't want to hear that. That's the shelf life of an average career.
Yeah, for a running back, yeah. I mean, it.
Not for a guy that's supposed to carry defenders on his back as a living. Like, that was his skill set.
Who was?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember his rookie season. Kyle Brandt, who, you know, half the time Kyle Brandt's takes make me nauseous, but Kyle Brandt was gushing over Javonte Williams his rookie season. I mean, he got an angry run scepter for crying out loud as a rookie.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But now, I mean, thanks for you know, I'm going to go full on, Fallout Boy on this. Thanks for the memories. Because that's all we've got left from you. What? Why are you hating on my Fallout Boy reference? Listen,
I'm not hating. I was listening to My Chemical Romance today, so touche.
Me and my sister were sitting here earlier singing Black Parade. Like, no kidding. Like, my niece walked out of her room and she had her hair hanging in front of her one eye. And both of us were like, well, I just got taken back to my emo years in high school. And then next thing I know, My Chemical Romance is playing and we're singing along with Black Parade. So, you know.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh, yeah, right? But Okay, so Jay, what's a subject that you'd really like to hit on in regards to maybe anything honestly right now, this game against the Colts, or the season as a whole, or the season going forward?
So I have hesitation about the Chargers game, and I don't like the short week that's going to be happening after what seemingly is being dubbed as the biggest game since Super Bowl 50. I think we're going to show up for this Colts game. I really think we will. But what I don't want to see is us getting into a trap situation of gearing up for this week only to fall short against the Chargers, because all that's going to do is solidify us in that 7th seed to then go play in Buffalo for first round of the playoffs, which is the nightmare situation that could happen to us, in my opinion. I think no matter what, we're going to make the playoffs. That's not a question.
Although,
dude,
all right.
Nobody wants to play Buffalo, including Kansas City, obviously.
No, Buffalo doesn't want to play Buffalo. But here's one thing I want to see. I don't know why. I'm not saying that it's my ideal situation. It's not. My ideal, first, wild card round game is Broncos Steelers. That's what I want.
I want that so bad.
But
so
I mean,
bad.
let's be honest.
That would feed families.
The amount of things that would have to happen for that to be our first round.
Not that much. Not that much. Surprisingly, it really wouldn't be, because Buffalo's going to be number 2 seed. That's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at least.
So all that means is that if we beat the Chargers, we're almost guaranteed to play Pittsburgh, because I think Pittsburgh is going to end with the number 3 seed. And
fair enough.
Therefore, we would play that. Like, we would play up to 3 seed. 7 versus
David.
2.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it. And, I never got to this earlier in the show, so I better get to it now before people start dropping out. Guys, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, and comment over on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Check out the Orange and Blue Network audio podcast on all your favorite platforms. That's for Orange and Blue Network. But we are partnered and simulcast. We are partnered and simulcast on MHRT Network. So if you're watching this on Orange and Blue, please jump on over to MHRT, like, subscribe, share, and comment on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. Hell, MHRT's even on Instagram. I don't do Instagram. So, we stay away. We stay away from that. But anyway, but we appreciate that, David. We really do. That means a lot, man. Thank you. So, I guess for me, I would love to see what a Bo Nix Josh Allen game could look like. I know that it's scary. And I've already said it, Jay. I believe in my heart of hearts that there isn't a team that we can't beat. I'm not, like I'm reiterating what I've said previously, that I believe that there's going to be, some ridiculously hard ones, but I think that we have the potential to beat anyone, including Buffalo. So, I mean, if it happens, I still feel comfortable saying that it's not going to just be, a blowout game. We play in the cold too. So
out of all the potential matchups from playoff, who do you want? Who's your most favorable matchup that you're like clinging for that's realistic?
Most favorable? Who's in the picture, right? Who is in the 7 right now? It's us. It's the Chargers. It's the...
So I would say best case scenario, best is that the Ravens lose, the Chargers lose, and we can slip into the 5th seed, and we can play Houston. I think whoever plays Houston first round in Houston,
for me,
that
it would be Houston
ideal.
Or Pittsburgh. Yeah, for me, ideally, it would be Houston or Pittsburgh. I would love to see the Broncos Steelers rematch. This time with Russell Wilson. With Russell Wilson actually at the helm and not just on the sideline,
he ducked out.
Yeah, he did in a big way. Coward. Anyway,
yep.
but I think, yeah, you're right. I think probably Texans would be the most ideal first round for us. Although, I would definitely love to just, even if it's our only game in the playoffs, to see us get that rematch with Pittsburgh. Because, we got to stop them Steelers from, okay. So one of my buddies that I actually ran into for the first time in about a year, yesterday, he's a Pittsburgh fan, and he wanted to talk all this crap, and I'm like, you realize that was only the second game for my rookie quarterback, right? Who's now tearing this league apart?
Are you serious right now, bro?
Like freaking Dexter. Okay, like he's a monster with a scalpel. Okay, right now. So he was like, "Yeah, how about them Steelers, man? They tore up your Broncos." I was like, "You mean my second game rookie quarterback?" Yeah. Okay. Not a lot to hang your hat on there, bud.
No,
I'd love to get that. Just to shut them up. Let's see. Rich says Russ doesn't need to duck too far down to go missing.
yeah, dude. I just the storylines of us paying him $30+ million this year for us to then beat him in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know how Sean Payton couldn't win Coach of the Year after that.
Yeah. Big E says Pittsburgh's getting ready to go on a 4-game losing streak. I mean,
they have an extremely hard schedule.
Yeah, they have a rough one. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, Richie says Texans are the most favorable to him as well. I think, they're the softest opponent. Even if it's on the road in Houston, like that doesn't scare me. That's not going to be a cold weather environment, obviously, like going to Buffalo.
No. Yeah, dude. I mean, oh my God, looking at this, at the final 4 games for the Steelers, it's the Eagles, then it's the Ravens, then it's the Chiefs, and then
and that Chiefs game will be the last game for the Chiefs before they play us.
And here's the thing: that final game for them, that's a divisional game for them. And
is
the Bengals,
Cincinnati?
Yeah, it's Cincinnati, but it's at Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati might not give 2 shits about that game by that time, but
maybe not.
know.
But the point is, like that, those 3 weeks right there, this Eagles, Ravens, and Chiefs for them, that's gonna be tough, man.
It will. It will. That's a tough schedule. That's a really tough schedule for them.
What? Okay, let me ask you this, Jay. With 4 games left for us, with our remaining 4 games on this season, and not talking about trap games, whatever. Of the 4 games left, which one? And okay, completely eliminating playoff implications.
Sure.
Okay. Which of the 4 games are you most worried about for us? Like in terms of what win or lose?
I think it's an easy one for me. I think it's by far in Cincinnati. I don't like that matchup. I don't like where it plays off of our schedule. I feel like there's going to be, granted, it's a little longer week since we played the Thursday night game the week before, and so we have a couple extra days of rest. But like at the end of the day, that scares the hell out of me, because I think that game is going to matter a lot for where we put ourselves in a seeding perspective. And I don't think the last game of the year is going to matter either for us or Kansas City, because I think by that time we're going to be solidified in what seed we are. Yeah.
We'll both have clinched, and we'll likely have seeding will already be
set.
At that point, it's simply a pride game.
We might be at a stature at that where we rest players versus Kansas City as well. If that seeding is set, what is the point? If a win or a loss doesn't matter on that last game, why wouldn't you take a extra bye to get ready for a wild card game that we already know is set?
At the same time, I would really hope that they'd at least for their fans as much as possible, do their best to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, man. It don't matter. Our fans are smart enough. We have a smart fan base.
I wish I could agree, Jay. I mean, no offense, buddy. On Twitter, I see a lot of stupid comments coming from our fans.
You're not necessarily wrong there.
we lose 1 game. We go on a 4-game win streak, then we lose a game, and people are like, "Fire Peyton!" And I'm like, "Oh God." Here we go.
There's even people out there that are telling, like that Damari Mathis needs to start. Crazy people.
Yeah. So, for me, as far as the scariest game for me on our remaining schedule, it's the Chargers.
Short week.
It's a short week. It's a division rival, and you and I both know division rivalry games are intense, no matter who you're playing.
Yeah.
And on top of it all, I'm terrified at the prospect of getting swept by the Chargers. I mean, we haven't been swept by the Chargers in I don't think I've even
quite a long time.
I don't think I can even off the top of my head recall the last time we were swept by the Chargers.
Dobbins will be out still. That's a big hit for their offense.
Huge hit.
It's a short week for them as well.
Yes. PS2 will be in.
That is a big change as well. Theoretically, maybe Riley Moss is back by then. We don't know that, but there's more of a likelihood of that than this week, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not a home field advantage for them because at the end of the day, the away team, just like Vegas, dominates that stadium every single week.
Absolutely. Like you go to Los Angeles, you see as many, and this goes for not so much for the Rams anymore. Not so much for the Rams anymore.
They won a Super Bowl, so they're actual Ram fans out there.
They're actual LA Rams fans out there now. But the Chargers, their stands are filled with just as many opposing team jerseys as for them. Rich says here, a divisional game is not a trap game. I'm not saying that it's a trap game, Rich. What I'm saying is divisional games, because of the familiarity with one another, how many games you face them, all that we see across the league, divisional games play different. That's how the Browns were able to beat up on the Ravens. We didn't expect it. It's not what you would have called, but it's a divisional game. And suddenly the Browns look like, what they've only got 3 wins on the season.
Yeah.
But they were able to get one of those wins they secured over, a playoff team in the Ravens. And both of our teams, Chargers and Broncos, we pretty much share a record right now. I think the Chargers are 8-4, we're 8-5.
And let me say, that's why I feel confident about us getting into the playoffs, even if we lose against the Colts, because the Colts are not a good team. And so when they have an easy schedule after us. I believe they play the Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 divisional games. I don't necessarily think those are shoe-in W's for them. Those are absolute games that they could lose in a divisional.
Maybe the Jaguars. Maybe they win. They win against Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville has become a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is done. I mean, they're done.
He's on IR.
They're sitting out.
But I mean, even before he was on IR, they were for whatever reason the golden child Jacksonville Jaguars of the last few seasons.
But Mayonnaise man, and the Tennessee Titans, they still keep chugging on. So you never know.
Yeah, body built by mayonnaise, Will Levis. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, those commercials, dude. I'm like, here's the thing. I love mayo. I mean, I obviously love mayo. You put that on my sandwich, my burger. I love mayo.
I ain't no Miracle Whip guy, I'll tell you that.
No, heck no. Ugh.
Fakery.
Terrible. It's tangy.
It's fake.
No,
fake mayo.
No, it's disgusting. My mayo shouldn't be tangy. I'm sorry, but if my mayo is tangy, it's been in the fridge too long. But
check that date.
Check that date. Absolutely, but those commercials, dude. It's like, really, it's one of the most unhealthy items on a grocery store shelf is mayonnaise. It's basically like pure fat and sugar. And yet, and you're going to have a professional sports guy. I don't know. The commercials just weird me out.
He probably is the whitest guy in the NFL. So I guess give him that.
I mean, he got that mayonnaise. But anyway, Yeah, I mean, and Rich says it here. Browns are a better team than their record. The Chargers are a very good team.
They are a good team. They are a very good.
That's the thing is, and that's why I think even like I said in my question of which of these remaining games worries you the most outside of playoff prospect. Like, regardless of, and I'm not saying irregardless, Jay, do not say it. It's
irregardless of.
Anyway. But regardless of, playoff implications on any of those games, the team I don't want that I'm most worried that we can, about losing to is the Chargers, because they are a very good team and because I don't want to get swept by the Chargers ever.
No.
So
it's true. As we roll down here towards the end here, I did want to point out I do appreciate your Christian Brown Browntown jersey there, and I wanted to say a quick piece about my Denver Nuggets, our Denver Nuggets,
Denver Nuggets.
It is a atrocity what is going on right now currently in Denver when it comes to the window of time in which we get to spend with the best player in the world, something that we have not been able to utter in Denver basketball history, to have the best player in the world. We are wasting away a true superstar's window of prime because of stupid ego that is getting in the way of what should be a dynasty, honestly.
Buttercup.
Jamal Murray needs to be traded. Jamal Murray needs to get gone.
Go.
I'm very sorry, Rich, for the Canadian slander here, but Jamal Murray needs to go back to Toronto, where he came from, and be done with it, because that's obviously where he wants to go. If not there, he needs to go to the closest UFC octagon, because that's also the other place he wants to go. I'm done with the attitude that is Jamal Murray. I want to see new blood. I want to see new life. The culture that is the Denver Nuggets, Nug life, is dead. Turn the page. Johnny, what's saying?
All right. I have my Jamal Murray jersey. And I loved the time that he's had here, up to this point. But here's where I'm at with the situation. I'm with you. I agree. No, I'm not with a Don. Bulls
Don't
kid.
You dare. Don't you dare. Although I'll take Zach Levine.
Levine. It's Levine, Jay.
Whatever.
Levine. But anyway, I've loved Murray's time in Denver up to this point. But I guess it was probably the one thing I can say about Nug life culture of the past 4 years is that we haven't had a lot of drama. But I also suppose with the players on this team, as good as they are, it was inevitable that someone would eventually get to this point.
Break away.
And it's not like, here's the thing. Look at a LeBron James led team. There is drama on and off the court on those teams every year. From the first moment he's in their locker room to the end. Okay? Like, that's how that goes. And for the most part, Jokic and the type of culture that has been built around Jokic, because, I fully believe he is wholly responsible for the way that, the culture of this team.
Absolutely. It starts and ends with him. It
starts
team.
and ends with him. It is. And I honestly believe that, that he's maintained that longer than most superstars do. Okay? Look at other superstars. Jason Tatum. There's always drama there in that locker room. In the Celtics locker room. Look at Kawhi Leonard. There's always drama going around when he's on a team. And we've managed to go a good stretch without it. And so I guess it was inevitable that it would happen eventually. Jamal Murray is a very talented point guard in the NBA. He is very talented. But I think that, now he's allowed that talent and notoriety and the New Balance commercials to go to his head. And I had to throw in the New Balance commercial thing. And now he believes that, that he's more important, I think, than he is on this team right now. And so you're right. He got to go. It's time. I think we can find a good point guard to come in and fill that slot. I don't think it's Russell Westbrook, long term.
No.
Westbrook is great defensively, but man, does he let us down so often offensively.
He is terrific at what he does, but at his age, he is a stopgap. He is a guy that can provide great minutes off the bench, but he is not a player that's a 1B to Jokic's 1A.
Yeah. You got and you still have bona fide superstars in Aaron Gordon, in Michael Porter Jr., who we have long-term contracts signed, on both of them. Yeah. My boy right here, Christian Brown, has been up and coming. He's had to put on a strong season so far. He's looking great as a starter, and I think that he's nowhere near his ceiling yet. So we're good there. I think let Jamal go, and we'll be and we can find the answer there.
Unfortunately, what's going to happen, whether we want it or not, is that Jamal Murray now has an untradeable contract because of the max deal he just signed in the offseason, which, blame Calvin Booth all you want. You had to do it. Unfortunately, you had to take the risk because of his history. So what's going to happen, Johnny, mark my words, is your boy, Mizzou Tiger, MPJ, will be the fall guy. He will be traded. And it will be for some sort of player that is supposed to shake up the culture of the team. That is what will happen, because that is the only tradable contract that we have on this team, because it ain't going to be Aaron Gordon, and it ain't going to be obviously Jokic, and nobody's going to take on Jamal Murray's contract. For what Jamal Murray is currently putting out from a product standpoint of value to that contract, ain't no way. So we are very hamstrung, and I wanted to bring that up because it's a point of frustration for me as a Denver Nuggets fan. Nuggets are going in a very down trajectory situation as a trend for a team, whereas the Broncos are going up. I believe now with the goalie trades, the Avalanche are going up. Another great victory tonight versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hell yeah, let's go. The Moose, Mikko Rantanen with a hat trick. Let's go. His third of the year. So that all is on the path of positiveness. But the Denver Nuggets got to get their shit together. This is just a public service announcement on behalf of the fans out there. So, and
on behalf of the Orange and Blue Network.
Yeah. Got to get
how about real quick, since we're talking Colorado sports, our Colorado sports, except for the Rockies, because we don't give a shit about the Rockies.
Fuck them. Sorry. Beep. Dick Monfort, sell the team. Sell the team, please. Thank you.
Yeah, for real. even if he does, I'm not a Rockies fan, and I won't be. But how about our Buffaloes? Getting their bowl game. Was it the Alamo Bowl?
Yep. No. The biggest, yawn fest of getting matched up with BYU of all players.
Yeah.
We could have had Miami. We could have had LSU. We could have had Alabama. Some dynamic team to get matched up with, and we get paired with an in-conference team. A travesty to happen. But
it's still a bowl game.
It is.
Which, we didn't have a bowl game last year.
Yep.
And we haven't had a bowl game in a while. So, go, well done, CU. And hey, go Buffs.
You know what? By the time we speak again, Johnny, our next podcast, together at least, Travis will have won the Heisman. So shout out to Travis Hunter.
When does that get announced?
Saturday night. And he is a minus 3,000 as a favorite. Mm-hmm. So to the Giante or whatever the hell Boise Bronco fans that are out there that are going to disparage Travis's name, kick rocks, go back to Boise, eat your potatoes.
Calm down, Jay. Jeez.
Yeah.
You're gonna insult people. You're gonna get canceled. I'm just kidding. Cancel culture. But I'm very optimistic. And by the way, this Sunday, game day, baby. All right. Don't forget, we have the Get Bucks Game Day show pregame 1 hour before game time. But this Sunday is another Orange and Blue Network Game Day Takeover Day. As myself, and I'm pretty sure Isaiah, but whoever else wants to, if somebody else wants to do it, they're more than welcome from our Orange and Blue Network family. But we will also be hosting The Neighborhood, as well as, of course, that guy over there hosting the Buck Your Feelings post game show right after the game. So it is a full 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours of Orange and Blue Network. This next Sunday, and I will be on all of them. I love doing I personally love doing these marathons. Like I love it, man. So it's going to be exciting. This has been a fun show. Broncos take on the Colts this Sunday. We're going to get them. We're going to get them. We're the grown-up Broncos. We're the grown-up horses. They're the baby horses. Okay? They can't outpace us. I've always thought that funny that there was two teams with horse mascots, and one of them is their mascot is an infant horse.
Yeah, I know. One grows up to want to be the other.
Exactly. Well, hey, I mean, he did. Peyton Manning came here and won another Super Bowl with us.
He did reference his Broncos on Manning Cast on Monday Night Football last night.
He did.
His Broncos.
I forgot all about that. And did anybody watch the Simpsons Monday Night Football thing?
I did. I tuned in for like 5 minutes and was like, well, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Moving on.
I mean, literally, it was like, I think I kind of found it interesting that they were able to make it work the way they did for the players to move on, for those computer generated little players to be moving, in sync with the game. That was kind of, at least it's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, no, I couldn't get on board. But yeah, Peyton Manning saying my Broncos in reference to a game between his two former teams.
Yeah, like against the two teams. Like it'd be different if it was unrelated and he could separate them because he's towed the line. He's towed the line for many years, but he like directly gave us favoritism.
Yeah, so. But okay, not on Manning Cast. But there have been several instances in previous years where he's appeared on like a talk show or something, and there's a neon sign behind him. And what's that neon sign of, Jay?
Denver Broncos
logo.
Yeah,
it's not a Colts horseshoe. It's the Broncos horse head behind him. And he even though he has his home here in Tennessee, as well, he keeps his home in Denver, and he's in the facility all the time. And by the way, he retired. Yeah.
His children have Denver Bronco jerseys. I've never seen them in a Colts jersey. Ever. And he retired as a Bronco. The Colts asked him, maybe, I don't know if everybody remembers this, when he announced after we won the Super Bowl and he announced he was retiring, the Colts contacted him and did what a lot of teams do with their star players of the past. They offered him a 1-day contract to come back, sign with them for 1 day, and retire as a Colt. And he said, kick rocks. But yeah.
He said, no, I'm retiring as a Bronco.
That's Jim Irsay's fault.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't have any faith in him. And and obviously Peyton still had plenty left in the tank.
Yep.
He came to Denver, and then his second year in Denver, he broke all the records.
Jim Irsay was too busy doing drugs back behind.
But the point, I do find that interesting, and it was a lot of fun to hear him, my Broncos.
Absolutely. So, I love that.
Well, anyway, guys, Colts this Sunday. Oh, excuse me. So going to be so good. I know it's only been 1 week removed, but man, have I missed some Broncos football on the field. I was itchy all weekend without getting, I couldn't scratch that itch.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good to see some Broncos back on the field against the Indianapolis Colts. A full Orange and Blue Network game day takeover as we host Get Buck Game Day show, the neighborhood the neighborhood watch party, and the Buck Your Feelings post game show. Don't forget to check out our other awesome shows here on Orange and Blue Network. Wednesday nights we have Broncos Talk with Adon Diaz. Ty, the fantasy guy, and now while Ty has been out for a while, and we'll see what the future holds, Bronco Libre will be joining Adon on Broncos Talk as the co-host. So we'll actually have an English show featuring those two hosts, and of course the Friday night show, Viva los Broncos, hosted by the same two guys, Adon Diaz, a 6'10" Mexican, and Bronco Libre. But that one, of course, is entirely in Spanish. So if you have Spanish-speaking friends, family, co-workers, whoever that are Broncos fans, let them know there is now a fan-led Spanish, entirely in Espanol, Broncos podcast. Guys, this has been a great show. It's been a lot of fun interacting with all of you in the comments. Thank you for joining us. I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking. My co-host. Oh, yes, Jay.
1 second. Just 1 second. Just before we sign out.
Oh no. That smile. I know that. I've known that smile my whole life. Don't do it.
I just want to make sure everybody understands. This Sunday is a Damari Mathis wake-up call. Let's go. It's coming. It's coming. So just plug in that guy once more.
You know that you still, you still get the exact same up to no good smile that you got when we were kids and we were up to no good. like no kidding. Like you get this little hold on. This little grin you got going, and you've done that all of our lives. Anyway, guys, I'm Johnny the Mile High Viking Baki. That guy over there is Jay, the Dream Weaver. We love you guys, and we cannot wait for this Sunday. Make sure you tune in, and we're gonna leave you with a big Broncos or Mile High salute. Go Broncos! We're out of here tonight. Good night, guys.
Orange and blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Catching up on all that we knew. Replay, let the episodes accrue. Nothing rhymes.